Chronicle of King Quamina tells his story. My name is Quamina. Like the great Kofi, who led the first Revolutionary War of Independence in the Americas, in Berbice, Guyana, South America in 1763, I am an Akan from Ghana. The government of Guyana in 1985 changed the name of Murray Street in Georgetown, Guyana to Quamina Street after me. I lived and worked on Success Plantation, East Coast Demerara, the sugar plantation owned by John Gladstone, MP of Liverpool, England. I was head deacon of Bethel Chapel at Plantation Le Souvenir on the East Coast, Demerara, where Reverend John Smith of the London Missionary Society was the minister. They could not understand members of the congregation. They couldn't understand, how Christian enslavers could reconcile their beliefs, their Christian beliefs, with their lifestyles. It just didn't work. It just couldn't work. We couldn't understand it. Our African people have a rich heritage. We are a very spiritual people, Our spiritual practices developed with the belief in the afterlife. We readily absorbed the Christian religion. Our spiritual beliefs were similar to the Christian belief in the resurrection of the dead and the life everlasting in heaven. Our spiritual beliefs were handed down through the ages from our ancestors of the great land of Punt in Africa, known as God's land, in East Africa, around Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, and the Sudan. Our ancestors developed in Africa the first and greatest civilization on this earth in Kemet, ancient Egypt. We read in the book of Exodus in the Bible that Moses was born in Egypt and led his people towards the promised land. We also read in the book of Isaiah about the African king Taharka of Ethiopia, Cush. See Imhotep's great step pyramid, built for King Zosa 5,000 years before Christ was born. See also King Khufu's construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, over 4,700 years before Christ. Look at the Sphinx, the Great Sphinx. The African king depicted there. Look at Hatshepsut's obelisk, built 1,600 years before Christ. Look also at King Amenhotep III, the Colossi of Memnon, over 1,500 years before Christ. Now, Amen was the African name of God. And whenever we said Amen in prayers, we believed that we were calling the African name of the Almighty. I remind you that the Greeks and the Romans, Emperor Hadrian, went to the Colossi of Memnon, the Oracle of Wisdom in ancient Kemet. Now, with our spiritual beliefs as Africans, we had no fear of death. When the planters threatened us with death, we said to them, you can kill the body, but you cannot kill the soul. On Monday, the 18th of August, 1823, over 12,000 of my African brothers and sisters came out in force from several plantations on East Coast Demerara. They made a demand to Governor Murray for our rights and for unconditional emancipation. We wanted our freedom. We all agreed we wanted our freedom. I did not join in with my brothers and sisters in the demonstration and in the violence. I was a man of peace. I did not want violence. I did not want any bloodshed. So I didn't go with them in the front line. But we wanted our freedom. And when we got our freedom, the people wanted me to be king. And they wanted Reverend Smith to be the emperor. Unfortunately, we were slaughtered. Over 200 were slaughtered, massacred at Bachelor's Adventure. I was martyred, and several of my African brothers and sisters were martyred in August 1823. But we were martyred in the cause of freedom, emancipation for Guyana, for Guyanese. I forgive all those who were involved in our martyrdom. Thank you. Amen. 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 Look at the bibliography.